Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Kohalah Yahweh Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem, Barakah HaKodash, double honors to the Apostle Elder, Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, salutations, and hopefully elect. So, Brother Isaiah, here with another lesson to the Spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem HaKodash. Lord willing to edify the lambs of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Okay? I just want to briefly go into some precepts about the times to come in Jacob's trouble, and some of the things that might, that will happen, not might happen, that will happen. We've been hearing stories here and there about these things, and just through the Spirit, different things occurred there where I'm going to do this lesson. All right. Speaking about cannibalism. All right. And how these things are prophetic, and how these things are going to make a major comeback on the planet Earth. All right. Let's read this. 2nd Ezra 16. And I'll start at 21, okay, to give the context, because let's just read it. 2nd Ezra 16:21 says, "Behold, victuals, meaning food, shall be so good cheap upon the earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion." So right now, you kind of have, especially in these times, and it's been kind of trending this way for a few years, where there's a lot of different deals where you can get food for very cheap. All right, and so people think that we're in a good case, that things are okay, but as it says, even then shall evils be growing upon the earth, sword, all right, famine, and great confusion. Verse 22 says, "For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy." So famine is coming, all right? And now there will be people that escape the hunger, as it says, but those, if they're not of the elect, if the Lord is not protecting them, then the sword is going to destroy those people, all right? And so, famine happening is going to lead to cannibalism, man, as it did in the past. And there are scriptures prophetically where these things did happen. All right, so let's scroll to, now these things were not all right. Jeremiah 19:19 says, matter of fact, let's see what's above this. Jeremiah 19 and 7. "And I will make void the counsel of Judah and Jerusalem in this place. I will cause them to fall by the sword before their enemies, and by the hands of them that seek their lives, and their carcasses will I give to be meat for the fowls of the heaven and for the beasts of the earth." Right, there's going to be a lot of death, okay? A lot of, and as the scriptures say, your agreement with death shall be disannulled. A lot of people here are let's get that. Let me see, covenant. I think this is how it's worded. Yeah, that's it. Call all Yabashman. Sorry, Isaiah 28:15 says, "Because ye have said, we have made a covenant with death, and with hell are we at agreement. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, it shall not come unto us. For we have made lies our refuge, and under falsehood have we hid ourselves." All right, so let's go back. All right, it says, "And I will make void the counsel of Judah and Jerusalem in this place." So our people have agreed to, they're in agreement with hell and death, especially here in America, Babylon the Great. This place is the valley of the shadow of death, okay? The land of great confusion and wickedness. The mother of all harlots and abominations of the earth, wherewith the Lord have made the world drunken with abominations. All these other nations pattern themselves after America, and America is the epicenter of all wickedness, especially considering that it is a melting pot of all different religions, and you can do anything here. You can marry a tree, you can marry a dog, you can marry the beach, you could do, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could be all manner of sexual, you could be a sapiosexual, goddamn, whatever you want to be here, you can be here, okay? And it should not be so, okay? Yahweh Shem Yahushai did not approve us to do such things, man. All right. And so that agreement that people have made, okay, these great plagues with which our people are at peace, that counsel will be cast down. All right. And I'll skip to verse 8. It says, and I will make this city desolate and hissing, and everyone that passeth thereby shall be astonished and hiss because of all the plagues thereof. And we understand that Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. Okay, so when it says this city, all right, that's a part of the curses that are upon our people. All right, we are an astonishment and a hissing to the people that see us. There's what do you call? There are sayings and what's that word? Stigmas that come with black people. So when people see us, you know, they make these faces. They have these things to say. You know, there's a connotation that comes with being a so-called Black, Latino, or Native American, okay, an Israelite. So you understand, which is written in the curses of Deuteronomy, that we will be a proverb and a byword, okay, amongst the nations where he will scatter us. You know, and they have these different sayings for us. You know, niggas is lazy. You know, Latinos is this, and Native Americans is that. You know, everywhere you go, we're defamed and we're discredited. Okay, which is prophetic. It says, and I will cause them to eat the flesh of their sons and the flesh of their daughters, and they shall eat every one the flesh of his friend in the siege and straightness, wherewith their enemies that seek their lives shall straighten them. Okay, and so this happened in 70 AD, okay, during the besiegement of Jerusalem, all right, when all resources were cut off, all right, when they were trying to starve us out, okay. Eventually, people began to eat one another, but this is going to come back in these end times here, which is also depicted in the Bible here. So let's read 2nd Ezra 15, and let's see if I can get some above this. All right. And thou Asia, let's see. Ooh, now ultimately this is talking about what's going to happen into these wicked nations that have patterned themselves after Babylon. Okay, as it says here, it starts off talking about woe unto thee, Asia. Okay. It says, and thou Asia, that art partaker of the hope of Babylon, and art the glory of her person, woe be unto thee, thou wretch, because thou hast made thyself like unto her. Just to give you context. All right, but let's go down to the point. It says, verse 55, 2nd Ezra 15 and 55, it says, the reward of thy whoredom shall be in thy bosom. Therefore shalt thou receive recompense. Like as thou hast done unto my chosen, saith the Lord, even so shall God do unto thee, and deliver thee into mischief. Thy children shall die of hunger, and thou shalt fall through the sword. Thy city shall be broken down, and all thine shall perish with the sword in the field. They that be in the mountains shall die of hunger, and eat their own flesh, and drink their own blood, for very hunger of bread and thirst of water. You see? So it's just telling you that these things are going to come back, man. All right? These things are going to come back where Salaki. I was just reading this, and thy children shall they carry away captive, and look what thou hast, they shall spoil it and mar the beauty of thy face. Right. Okay. But recompense is going to happen to these nations, man. And you can guarantee that that's going to happen in Babylon too, man. As the scriptures tell us that a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. All right. And we saw different depictions of these things. I think in the book of Eli, if there was an old couple that was eating people, Second Ezra 15 and 19, so that's above in that same chapter. I'll just read the point. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. And you know, if they, yeah, you never know, man. They might find you and not find no bread, and you might become the bread, so to speak, man. You know, and there was a situation that I was informed of where certain individuals were involved, and they basically found people grilling people. All right, the niggas was on the grill, man. Meat, you know, human meat was on the grill. Let's see, human names. Let's see if I can find a story on this. Yeah. Oh, well, that's one thing. Yeah, so I'm not finding anything recent. Okay, it may not be a. Here it goes. That's crazy. Arrested for human remains found. Legally disposed. So nothing on the exact story that I'm looking for. But nevertheless, okay. These things are gonna come back in a major way. Okay? And if I find anything, Lord willing, later on, then I'll, through the Spirit, Lord willing, do a lesson on it. All right? But you know, these things were prophesied to happen. Okay? I tried to put these in order, but they ain't really. But I read Jeremiah 19. That should be, Lamentations 2:20. Behold, O Yahweh, and consider to whom thou hast done this. Shall the women eat their fruit, and children of a span long? Shall the priest and the prophet be slain in the sanctuary of the Lord? Okay, Lamentations 4:10 says, the hands of the pitiful women have sodden their own children. They were their meat in the destruction of the daughter of my people. See? Sodden means to boil in a pot. Ezekiel 5:10. Therefore the father shall eat the sons in the midst of thee, and the sons shall eat their fathers. And I will execute judgments in thee, and the whole remnant of thee will I scatter into all the winds. See? Yeah, man. So, you know, we're coming into some crazy times, man. And we just have to understand that because we have this knowledge of the scriptures, all right, that when these things happen, that we can't get shook up. There's a lot of things that are going to happen, you know, physically terrible and spiritually involved, man. It's going to be different than we've ever experienced. You know, there were times where angels manifested themselves and was beating people up, you know, and things of that nature, man. So, you know, these things are going to happen. These things are going to happen in the future, man. We just got to be aware, and we just got to, you know, pray Yahweh Shemel Shai protect us in the times to come. So I guess with that, I'm going to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh Shemel Shai, B'Shem Kakadash, to honor the apostle, elders of Great Millstone. Peace to the elect. Shalom. Till next time, shalom.